saw Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, it would have been through the TV series based upon the film by Irwin Allen. Uh, Obviously, it was in syndication since aired in the 60s, and I caught it. I don't remember seeing the initial seasons, but I do remember seeing it in color. That show ran for 4 seasons and starred Richard Basehart and David Edison. As a kid, I was just eating it up, and I really have no memory of what exactly transpired in those episodes. Although, just like glancing at pictures and stuff, that was like kind of like almost Star Trek level, except in the sea. Now, the film that the TV show is based on is Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, which was written and directed by Irwin Allen. Released in 1961. I literally have never seen the film until recently, and like I said, my memories of the TV show is very slim to none, as I have not seen them since I was a child. Now, Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the movie, has a fairly compelling story to tell, but there it leaves much to be desired in terms of the overall story. Like it felt like there were a lot of things that were thrown in there just as padding, and a number of things that like are in the film that obviously just won't fly today because of its obvious scientific inaccuracy. And of course, sometimes the dated effects don't help at all. But Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the movie, is about a brilliant scientist, engineer, Admiral Harriman Nelson, who has built one of the most technology advanced, powerful nuclear submarines. Uh, when we first meet them, they're on a shakedown cruise, and they're bringing the ship up to snuff. And one day they emerge, and there is a catastrophic global event going on where the sky is literally on fire and baking the planet. What occurs is the Van Allen radiation belt, which surrounds the planet, is burning thanks to some meteorites that bounced off the atmosphere and set it off. And Nelson sets out to find a way to basically save the planet. And the film follows his journey as he tries to achieve his objective. Now, the film stars Walter Pidgeon, Joan Fontaine, Barbara Eden, Peter Lorre, Robert Sterling, Michael Ansara, and young Frankie Avalon. And yeah, there's a lot of story issues with the film. I know as a kid I would have watched the TV show strictly for the just to see the sub in action, and you do see the sub in action here, but the a lot of the story elements, especially looking at films nowadays, there are story elements that need fleshing out an explanation. Like in the film, it just flat out says it's like, oh, the Van Allen radiation belt is on fire, and there really is no explanation given as to what is that. And how and why. There needs to be a little more going into the science of it all. I mean, yes, an exposition scene of some sort. And then there are like the scientific elements that are involved. Like Peter Lorre's character is nursing a shark, and he's literally in the water with a shark, just wandering around trying to get the air, walking around getting the air through his gills. Or in most cases nowadays, of course, scientifically, they probably just put a hose in the shark's mouth just to keep it going. And other elements like a rather hokey involvement, entanglement, I should say, with a squid, and some head scratching plot devices where you're like thinking, oh, if they're going to do it, why didn't they just do this and could have avoided that altogether? And then there's some little subplots about and a relationship between Barbara Eden's character and Robert Sterling's character, which really serves no purpose for the movie. It really doesn't push the characters in any way, and I guess it's just some random attempt to throw some romance into this movie of some sort, but it really served no purpose in the film, and I kind of like think it's like don't need all that. And then there's like other little elements of For example, Nelson goes up against other scientists who don't agree with his plan of action, and the way it's laid out is just like, okay, they just disagree with him, and that's that. But there should have been an attempt to actually go into the science as to why they don't think this plan will work, or why they think this plan will work. And there's really, like, it's all just gobbledygook and techno-babble, and it's like, and they're just thrown out there just as like, oh, it's all science. It's like, it must be important. And it's like, oh, I guess they know what I'm talking about. But nowadays, we need that information so we can actually understand and get into the science and totally buy into these events. But that is seriously lacking in Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. There's all sorts of a number of funny things, like your most guarded and important element is your nuclear core, and all you have as a safeguard is a mat that goes off when someone steps on it. That comes into play later. And telegraph things and other crazy events that you're like thinking is like, well, yeah, scientifically that doesn't exactly fly. So I guess back in the 60s and that time, really no one really cared. It's just all about the spectacle that's on screen. So as a result, because the film needed a little more depth to the story and more fleshing out of characters instead of how Alan wrote them and directed them, it needed more meat to the story. So I would have to give Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea just 2.5 stars out of 5. I mean, special effects wise, it's all right, but nothing special. But story wise, it leaves a lot to be desired. Like I said, there's a decent story in there, but execution wise, Alan doesn't manage to pull it off. So 2.5 stars for Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, 1961. So have you heard of Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, the film? Have you seen the TV series? Have you seen both? What did you think of both, and which are your favorites? Please comment below and let me know. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please do so you can stay on top of new reviews, trailer reactions, and any of the fun things I have to put up my channel. And be sure to hit that bell button so that you can be notified when I do so. And as always, be sure to check out retrofilmmaven.com. And until next time, my friends, no matter where you go, there you are.